Hello, this is Jerry Morton. Welcome to my Finding My Way podcast. This is podcast number 6, titled A Little Bit of Love. A Little Bit of Love is a story from my childhood years. The collection of stories I have written and am reading to you cover many subcultures in our country that I have interacted with from childhood to my adult and senior years. A more extensive introduction to the Finding My Way stories takes place in the beginning of Podcast 1. Regardless of which podcast you are listening to, you will find the story both entertaining and worthy of your reflective thoughts concerning its contents. The stories, as a collection, provide insights into a span of time that has played a role in shaping American culture and influencing its future. The stories provide you with a sense of admiration for the culture's collective courage and our country's commitment to justice and its optimistic willingness to address new challenges. A Little Bit of Love. To a 3-year-old, the world is a little bit confusing. So it was for me. I was sick. My mommy had taken my temperature. She said I had a fever. Once again, she had used the mouth thermometer. I opened my mouth and allowed her to put it under my tongue. It proved that I was a big boy. You didn't have to stick it in my bottom. That's what you did to take a baby's temperature. I was a big boy. I could hold it under my tongue. She decided to take me to daycare anyway. She had to go to work. I don't know if we still lived in East St. Louis, Missouri, or if we had to move across the river to Granite City, Illinois. If we were in Granite City, we hadn't lived there long. The year was about 1945. Hand in hand, we entered the building that seemed to be a street-long building amidst a series of street-long buildings, though a door opened into a narrow stairwell. We climbed a long way up the stairs. At the top of the stairs was a little landing. It had a small table on it beside an entrance door and a metal hand railing all around the platform except where the stairs were. A small overhead light tried to hide the darkness in the stairwell. Mother knocked on the door of the landing as she always done before. The door opened. Laughter and chatter from children playing spilled out of the large open space beyond the door. A lady was holding the door partially open as she spoke to my mother. My mother told her that I might be a little sick. She had taken my temperature at home. The lady said I was to stay outside on the landing while she talked to someone inside. We waited. 2 ladies came out of the door. They said I could stay. Mommy left me on the landing. One of the ladies said they would have to take my temperature. She went back inside the room. The other lady picked me up and sat me on the table. The missing lady returned. She had a thermometer in her hand. She told me she was going to take my temperature. I was directed to lie down on my stomach. I didn't know why. Mother took my temperature under my tongue. I was a big boy. That's how big boys did it. As I moved to lie down so that I faced the ladies, they grabbed me, rolled me over. Then one began pulling my pants down, while the other one pressed my chest to the table. Realization hit me. They were going to stick the thermometer up my bottom. No, 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 this was not right. I was a big boy. I tried to tell them that I was a big boy. My mommy put it under my tongue. They weren't listening. They strengthened their grip on me and pressed me more firmly to the table. I started crying and twisting and screaming. They couldn't hold me still, even though they had finally succeeded in pulling my pants down and keeping my face down to the table. Another lady came out of the room to help the others hold me down. This was terribly wrong. Strange ladies were not supposed to pull boys' pants down. This was wrong. This was humiliating. I cried and screamed. It did no good. They stuck the thing in my bottom. All 6 hands pressed me tight to the table. I continued to scream. No one would listen. I was a big boy. I was embarrassed. This was wrong. I wanted to get away from them. It didn't matter. I could hardly move. All I could do on my own was sob and sob. This was so wrong. Pulling the thing out of my body, one lady said that I had a temperature. What should they do? Asked another lady. I couldn't be with the other children, was the decision. They told me to wait on the table. They would be back. All 3 ladies went into the room. I was not going to wait. I was going to run away. I hated it here. Slipping off of the table, I began to run down the stairs as fast as I could. I ran and ran until the stairs stopped. My intention was to run down the stairs until I got to the door that went to the street. There was no door at the bottom of the stairs. It was all different. The stairs had taken me into this large, whitish room that had hallways going from it. I could smell food cooking somewhere. The walls of the stairwell were different, too. They were made of some kind of stone that had been painted over. The lights down here made it bright, much brighter than the stairwell that I had climbed up with Mommy. This was most frightening. I was totally lost. I had no idea where I was or how to get back to the door to the street. The tears rolled down my cheek. I was having trouble breathing between my sobs. I didn't know where I was or what to do. I just stood there sobbing. Footsteps were coming from a hallway off to one side. This large, fat lady in an all-white work dress appeared before me. "What's the matter, honey?" she asked as she held out her arms to me. I rushed into those embracing arms. She picked me up and hugged me tightly as she carried me back to the steps and sat down. Holding me in her lap, she rocked back and forth, saying, "It's all right, honey. Everything's going to be all right. Don't you worry now. Everything's going to be all right." Clasped into that loving embrace, I leaned against her body. She was going to take care of me. I was going to be all right. "What happened? What happened to you?" "I ran away. I ran down the stairs, but they didn't stop. I don't know where I am. They took my temperature. They stuck it up my bottom. I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy. Mama puts it in my mouth. I'm a big boy. I can hold it on my tongue." I blurted out between my subsiding sobs and sniffles. That's all I can recall. I have always remembered that wonderful woman. Some have asked me if she was a cook, a janitor, or maybe a black lady. I don't know. All I know is that she loved me. She made everything all right.